Hi, this is Rob with Life Radio, and we're here with Pauline Young, an amazing artist, one of our local artists who's doing great works. And I love her work, and I wanted everybody to see it, know about it. And I kind of got excited. It's funny, I was online today, and I seen that you were going to an art gallery in Fredericton and doing a big show. And right at the moment I was looking at that, you came online and said, "Oh, let's do our interview." And I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." This couldn't have worked out better. So the particular show, and you've been doing a lot of work lately. I see a different
Yeah,
painting coming up almost every few days and once a week at least, it seems like. Uh,
yeah,
so proficient, I guess, just putting time into the work, trying to get engulfed, I guess, right?
yes. And finding reasons to paint. Like I'll paint for any reason. Like I'll paint if there's a flower or my chickens or well, any occasions, I'll paint. I don't need a reason to paint. I have all kinds of ideas in my head.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
I mostly paint Micmac life and my life. I've had a long life. I'm only 55 years old, but I've had a long life. And I paint what I remember in my childhood before I went to the foster home. And, I was in through the 60 scoop, with the 60 scoop and the residential school survivors. I was a victim of that. And, but I'm trying not to, you know, think about too many negative things right now because I have so many negative things on my plate right now.
Oh, it's incredible. And well, we
I'm
met a year ago. You were
Yes,
in, it was for your artwork actually, in I Lost My Talk. And
yes,
that, and we had talked about the residential schools, and it seems
yes.
prevalent now with what's on the news and everything
Oh my
going
God.
on. And
Yes, so current. It's a
on
current.
top of that, so the books and the artwork was great. And then you've got all kinds of things going on in your life that you're struggling through, and
Yes,
facing all those adversities and hardships in life,
yes,
and putting it into your artwork. I can see it in your artwork. The
yes,
love is there. It's incredible. I don't want to tell your story or anything, but you've been doing a lot of paintings of your son, and
yes, my
I,
son.
I'm
Yes.
I can't wait. Are they going to be in the gallery in the show?
Yeah, they are going to be in the show. Yes.
I cannot wait to see those, because every
Yeah,
time I look at them, I'm just like, I have to go see these paintings.
yeah.
I'm going up. I can't
Thank you
wait.
so much. I put everything in them and I painted through a lot of tears. It see, they say art is healing, and that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to speed up my grief, and you cannot speed up grief just by the way.
No.
Grief takes its own time, but I thought it would help me. It helped me, but it did help me. I had spent time with my son, in the painting and they're going to be in the show. And
That's awesome.
I can't paint through tears. I know, I realize that, but it was very healing. Yes.
That's awesome. And it's a way of sort of him continuing on too in the
Yes.
artwork. There's something special about that. I was thinking the other
Yes.
day, I was thinking, wow, 100 years from now, or somebody be looking at that painting, and
Yes.
we'll all have been gone, long forgotten,
Well,
and
that's the point. Why I'm making art, because I applied for a grant and I wanted to do about Mi'kmaq people in Miramichi. And so I went down to the library thinking I was going to get lots of information on Mi'kmaq life in the Miramichi. And I didn't get any. It was just a little tiny envelope and it was just a couple of articles in it. So I was like, oh my goodness, there's nothing about Mi'kmaq in the Miramichi, in history. I said, but then I'm gonna have to fill the internet with art and Mi'kmaq life in the Miramichi. And that
oh, I
was the
love it.
only way I was gonna my part in keeping Mi'kmaq life alive. And we didn't just pop here overnight. We were here for a long time. And that's what I want to show. We were here for a long time. And I could feel it in my ancestors, in my blood. I could feel it when I do art. I can feel them here, and I'm going to bring them out.
So when did you get started in art? As a young kid, as a little girl, or what
Um,
inspired you to first do your first drawings and pictures and things like that?
well, it's my father was an artist. He's an artist. His name is Philip Young. He's a Mi'kmaq artist from Red Bank, but he died in 55. Somebody beat him up in Boston, and he died from his injuries. So he was brain dead. So he died at 55. So now, well, 54, 53, 54. So I'm at that age at 55 now. So I'm ready to live his life now. Somebody cut his life short. They murdered him in Boston.
Wow.
So
This
now
is
I'm going to finish his life.
your life sounds like a movie, like one of these, you see Van Gogh and the tragic life of the artist, and
Yes,
it's incredible. It's like you're living it, a
it
modern
is
day.
tragic, but I keep going on. I find the strength. I'm look. My father didn't have the internet for his for his art, so I'm living for him. I'm living for him now. I'm living for my son.
Well, that's awesome. And then you can see it in the work. It's incredible. And
Thank-
I'm going to post up a thing, get people to, I'd love for people to go out and see this artwork. I think it's going to be a once in a lifetime thing. Are you going to display it at all? I don't know if there really is a place in Miramichi to do a little art show of some kind where
So
people could see it.
well, there is Carrefour Bousselet at the French School. They
Oh,
have a
yes,
gallery
yes.
there, but we really need a gallery. Like the Miramichi Art Cork artists don't have a gallery, and we've been trying to get a gallery, and that's a big problem.
That is.
Miramichi don't have a gallery. We need
Well, that's going to be my new plight.
yes.
I've decided that's it. I've been doing things to raise money for charities and do stuff. I think a gallery is a great idea.
And I would be there. I
That's
would
awesome.
be there. Yes.
And we have so many great artists here. People
We
don't
have
even
so many
realize.
great artists on the Miramichi, you wouldn't believe it. And if there was a gallery, we would be all there.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
incredible. I met a
yes.
lady last year. I didn't even know this, but she did the artwork for all the UNICEF boxes at one time in her life.
Oh,
Traveled the world and
oh, yes. Like we
incredible.
have all this talent here, these famous, talented people here in Miramichi,
I
and we
know,
don't
and
have
nobody knows about it. Nowhere to
nobody
show
have
their art.
no.
It's
We're not
incredible.
loved. No. It's okay. We need a gallery. No, one of these days, like I want a gallery in Miramichi.
Me too. I think it's awesome.
I would help anybody. I would help anybody.
Well, that's going to be it. Maybe we'll work on a plan for that. We'll get together
Yeah.
and figure that one out. I think that's a great idea.
I know.
Now
I
you got
know.
my head turning, wheels turning. It's like new
right.
cause. It's something
Yes.
exciting.
Yes.
So your dad was an artist and he inspired you
Yeah.
to do art. And
Yeah.
and obviously it was a tragedy what happened to your father. And
Yes.
that's so many. Was there any particular reason he got beat up, or was it because he was native, or was he just in the wrong place, or what was the
He
air?
was probably in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he did have a lifestyle that put him in places that was dangerous. Like
Okay.
he was an alcoholic, so he was probably, coming out of a bar and they robbed him, and then they beat him up, and then he fell in. The police found him in water.
Oh my.
So my father died in water, and my son died in water. But
Wow.
that's okay.
So
That's
sad.
okay.
I don't know, something about
Yeah, well, the water spirits. Sometimes the water spirits want you.
the water spirits. So
Yeah.
that does that play a role in your art
Yes.
as far as how you think about nature and God and all that, how that all works
Yes.
in? That's
Yes,
incredible.
but yes, my elder told me one time we were driving, and she pointed to the water and she says, "Do you see them?" I said, "See what?" And those, and I was driving. I was trying to drive, and then she was pointing at the water, and I said, "I don't see anything." She said, "You don't see them? They're all dancing and laughing," and she was talking about the sparkles in the water. The sparkling water was this water spirits, and they were happy that day. And she wanted to show me, but I was driving. But it was a nice story. And then the only way I can cope is that when my son was drowning in the cold ocean, he almost got saved, but the water spirits wanted him. There was another big wave that threw him off the boat, and the water spirits took him.
And this wasn't that long ago that this happened, right?
No, on April 3rd.
Yes. So that's wow. That's
They,
incredible. And were you able to see him that day? Did you?
no,
No. So how long it had been since you had seen him before you lost him to the?
it was a couple years.
Okay. So, oh wow, that makes it a little harder, even I suppose.
Yes. Yes, it was a
Well,
tough, because he was going to be 40 in December, and I was going to tease him because he was going to be 40. But that's okay.
yeah, and it's yeah, it's a long time. It's hard. I can't. I've never lost a child. I know what it's like to lose someone, but a child, I can't imagine
No.
that pain, and I can see it in your painting, that love, and it just every time I sometimes I have to click them off. I want to start crying. I like to see the painting. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just incredible. So
Yeah.
everybody's got to go see that artwork, and
Yes.
it's going to be something
Yes.
special for years and years to come. I think
I'm
a
hoping.
long time.
I'm hoping children and people 100 years from now see Mi'kmaq art on the internet, and that's what I want. I
That'd
want to
be
fill
incredible.
the art. I want to fill the internet with Mi'kmaq art.
And hopefully it'll be in the big Miramichi art gallery.
And
It'll be huge, and we'll have
yes, in the
something.
big Miramichi art. Yes, art
Wouldn't that
gallery.
be something?
Yes, yes.
Well, that's another thing. I'm gonna start feeding the city council. I talk to them a lot, so
You do?
yeah, we got a lot of things we can work on, and get a group
Yes.
together and a lot of people. I think a lot of Miramichi would love to have a real
An
art
art
gallery with our
A real art gallery. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes, and we're
that's
a
incredible.
nonprofit too.
It's true. It's true. And so your dad dies, and you go on to do art. What's your first query into selling art or working as a professional artist, like trying to I remember those first years when I tried to step out and sell some art and travel around. What was your first query into trying to see if you can make a living at it?
Well, networking. Having the right people notice you, because I was trying to sell art and trying to make it as an artist, and I've seen all my other art friends doing art, and I was trying to understand, what am I doing wrong that and I couldn't understand what it was social media. I had to get on social media and get past my shyness, and don't be shameful. Have no shame. Have no shame. Like, some people are, oh, I don't want to sell my, they're very humble, but have no shame. Just keep on pushing yourself.
That's
yes,
good.
and being confident. Yes.
And when we first met, you were doing the artwork for the book series,
Yeah.
which just blew my mind. I seen the art, I was like, wow, it just sort of captivated. So what inspired you to do that artwork? Like, tell us your sort of story involving all that aspect of it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I wasn't getting any, work gigs. And I was saying yes to everything. Somebody says, do me a logo, do me this, take a photo of this. And I was just grabbing it. I was saying yes. And then I was doing a solo show. And then somebody asked me, do you want to illustrate a book? Never illustrated a book before. Never.
Oh, really?
Never.
Wow.
No, this is my first time illustrating a book. I said, I've never illustrated a book before. Oh, yes, we know that. I said, okay. And so they gave me one book. They gave me I'm Finding My Talk first. They gave me Rebecca's book first. And I was working on this book, just this. But then the second artist didn't pulled out of this one. I Lost My Talk. So they asked me to do that one. And I said, yes. Then I was working on my solo show at the same time. So I put a lot on my plate sometimes because I'm saying yes, 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 because I wasn't getting any work. But now I'm getting work. So now I can be more yeah, I can just slow down a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So do you have in those books, was there a favorite picture or something that touched you when you were doing it? Uh, that you think back on and think, wow, I really enjoyed doing that piece of art or something specific?
Um, on the I Lost My Talk was the
Hmm.
cover.
Yes. Wow.
I was very happy with the cover
So what was the
because
thinking behind that when you were painting it? I'm always wondering as an artist thoughts when you're painting a picture or how you're getting inspired or what you're thinking about when you're doing it. That's
because
incredible. I have both those books. I love them.
I think
I read them to my grandson. They're incredible.
thank you. Well, Rita Joe was like it's it's like we're two split personalities, right? We have our culture on one side, and then we can't have our culture on the other side. So that's why I made it split, her cover split, because we don't know who we are. You know, we don't know who we are. You know, you want to cut us our hair off and wash our skin white, which they did when I was in a foster home. I had a birthmark and I had to scrub my birthmark off. You know how hard that is? And I was just a baby.
Wow.
And, that's what I liked about these books were hard to do as well because I was in a foster home.
So even in a foster home, you felt like it was sort of like an assimilation. You were trying to be
Oh
converted into
yeah,
something
well
that you weren't.
we spent most all of our winter in the shed, in the woodshed. We didn't spend in the house in the winter. We stayed outside in the woodshed, and it was a bad foster home. We didn't get any toys. We've been there 5 years. We never had any toys. We never celebrated birthdays. We got bitten. We got hit with sticks. Um, I had skin condition. I never saw a doctor. And even yeah, it was a horrible foster home. And it was and this book was hard to do as well to do. Yeah, because
Oh,
I
I
could
could. Well, I remember it
sadness.
emotionally was. I remember when we were talking about it at the library that day, and the emotions were you could tell, and just like all your art, I think it just had. That's what makes it great. Is your emotions are engulfed in the pictures and the
Yes,
stories, and but that makes a great artist. I think the fact that your your life experiences in these pictures and in this work is
yes.
I think what intrigues me about it. It's
It,
there's something amazing.
I never think about when I always say yes to it, but then I never think about how it affects me. You know, and then I say, oh man, why did I do that? You know, because then I'm crying through the whole,
Oh,
but that's okay, but I'm healing.
that's what I was gonna say. Does it feel like a healing process? The tears and the the going
It
through that?
does. Actually, it's validation because for so many years I've been trying to tell people about my experience in the foster home. And I've had therapy, but that part was always skipped over, like they didn't believe me, you know. And now it's validation. Now Canada is validating my experiences, and now it's like, oh, I've been pushing the story down, but now it's out now. So now
That's
I got to
good.
deal with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. There was a gentleman who I talked to recently or through a friend, and he had written a book on the experience of going through the residential schools, and uh,
Yes,
I can't even I can't I've picked it up, tried to read it a few times, and just the
yes,
emotions that I just can't imagine how human beings can treat other human beings in that way.
I know.
And
Yes,
it's a confusing
it was
thing.
awful. It was money because I remember the foster home when I was in the foster home. They had a new car every year. You know, I and we we
So
had
you're
no
out in the
toy
woodshed and they're
in the
driving
wood.
around in brand new cars. Yeah,
Yes,
figure that
yes,
out.
yes.
Where does
Yeah, I couldn't understand. Even at that young age, I knew something was wrong. You know, I nobody taught me nothing when I was young. I had to teach myself love and all this stuff myself. But I knew then that was not right.
And you would find it, I would think that it would be hard to love, because it would be like, you know,
No.
all these people, why it'd be more bitterness and hatred you would feel, I would think.
There is bitterness and hatred, but I let that go. But some of my siblings haven't. Some of my siblings are really, really traumatized by that and won't let it go. But I have to let it go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
understandable. I get it. It makes more sense to let it go, because it only hurts yourself, right?
Yes.
I think forgiveness
Oh,
is a way of healing yourself so that you can move on, because in order to be somebody like you, great, doing all
yeah.
the stuff you're doing, it's forgiveness that gives you the ability to go to the next step and make sure this never happens to anybody else. Tell your story, spread your
Yeah.
paintings out, get the word out that this happens, and we can't let this kind of thing happen in the world.
I know. Isn't it great that, stuff like that can't happen again in this lifetime? Not, no, we have too much social media now, protection, you know, there's help out there for people in that circumstances.
It's
Yes.
yeah, it's getting a lot
Yes,
better for sure.
definitely.
And
History
that's a
was
good thing.
bad.
And keeping it in the forefront so people understand what's happening and make sure it never happens again. And I think
Yeah,
sometimes I'll hear people sometimes say, oh, what, they're talking about that again, and you know, that happened a long time ago. But that
yeah,
isn't the point. The point is we don't ever want it to happen again. We
that's
want to make
right.
sure
Don't
that the
want to
world
happen
going forward is a better place. And
exactly. Like there's a lot of things going wrong to Black people, Jewish people, any kind of people, even the whites themselves. Even the word white is kind of racist. In my word, I don't know. It's the way you say things. It's the way you say things, I guess.
yeah, well, it kind of comes along with a stigma now. You're kind of attached to everything that's happened in the past
Yeah,
as well as
yeah.
so.
And if we can get past that, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, we
we'll get.
can. We are right now. Look at we're doing it, and spreading joy throughout the world. So you come along, you get this offer to do this book, and you're going through the stories, and especially that. Well, that's an incredible story about the orphanage and what you went through.
Yes.
So, how did you feel about? Were you nervous about going into doing an illustration in a book and how it would go, or uh, the time constraints? Like they must have give you timelines to say, oh, I got to have this book done by this
Yeah.
time or that
Well,
time.
like I said, when I first said it, I was only supposed to do one book. I was only supposed to do one book, and I had my solo show. And I said, I can do both. I could. I'm a workaholic as well. I'm a workaholic. I'm always doing. I have to do something. But anyways, I was only supposed to do one, and I had my time and my deadline. And then the other artist dropped out, and then I had to do the other book.
Wow.
So yeah, they asked me to do two.
So, in the books, the poem, I remember the poem.
Yes.
Like explain to people who, because I think everybody should get these books, and it's better when you
Yes.
told me the story. I try to repeat it and tell people, but when you told me it, was like, I get it. This is incredible. Like the sort of how she lost her talk and wasn't who she was. So your idea and the thinking behind the poem and what it's all about.
Yeah, she's well, can you imagine this? Like, I think of Rita Joe like as Maya Angelou, right?
Great
And
poet. Wow.
yes, Maya Angelou, Rita Joe, right up there. And when they told me to do I'm Finding My Talk, I said, oh yeah, I can do this pretty easy. Then they told me to do Rita Joe's. And I said, okay, I will. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing Rita Joe. I'm trying to think what Rita was thinking about. I hope I was very stressed. I was very stressed to think about what Rita Joe meant in this certain. But when I started reading the book, no, her poem, it almost became easy because I lived it. I lost my talk. The talk to you took away. The talk that the foster home was going to beat me with a stick because I asked my brother to pass the salt. The talk you took away. When I was a little girl at Shubenacademy school, I made it cold because I was cold in the woodshed. The angel, the box, the church, all that. We were all. I remember all this. These are coming from my memories. I mean, you snatched me away. I remember when the nurses were yelling at me because I couldn't speak Mi'kmaq, and the nurses were yelling at me, calling me stupid. And that's there. And I speak like you. I speak like you. Well, I remember that I speak like you. Well, I do speak like you with the Bible. I don't speak Mi'kmaq. I think like you, we're human. I think like you. I'm human. We have thoughts. We're smart. We're intelligent. We're not heathens. We have thought processes. I create like you. We're just like you. We write, we sing, we dance. We're people. We're just like you. The scrambled ballads about my words. I love that. I love, her on the typewriter. I can hear Rita Joe typing away. I love her. And two ways I talk, both ways I say. Two ways she talks. She talks orally. She talks oral history with her feathers, but everything's in books now. And those are her books. Your way is more powerful. Your talk is more powerful. It's more direct. It's in your face. It's everywhere. I'm thinking that when your talk is more powerful, it's loud in your face. You're not listening. So gently I offer my hand and ask. And Rita is a gentle giant. And they called her a gentle giant or gentle. They called her a gentle warrior. Gentle warrior. Yes. Someday I hope to be like her, but I'm not gentle yet. So it's let me find my talk. She wants to find her talk. Because they took it away from her, and she wants to tell her story, not you tell you, because she doesn't want anybody else to tell her story. She wants to tell her own story.
That's awesome.
And let me find my talk so I can teach you about me. And this is where I am in my life, is what my art is about, me and my family and my Mi'kmaq lifestyle, in the past that was taken from me. But I have, now my son is my ancestor. Now I'm going to paint about my son. I don't have to paint about, wigwams and all that. It could be current ancestors, it doesn't have to be teepees, stuff like that.
Sure. Well, that makes more sense that you would be painting about how your life is now and
yes.
what you're going through.
Yes.
And so in between doing the book and starting your son's paintings, was there any other paintings in between that? Or you just were busy finishing up the books?
Well, no, I want to start painting women stronger women.
Oh, I meant to ask you, did you get involved at all? There's a lot of, I'm having this conversation with people lately about, the schools and all the terrible things went down, but what about the missing women now? What are we doing now? I see the red dresses up everywhere.
Yes.
And I see little things up, but so did you do paintings towards that, or were you involved in that in any way? Did that affect you at all?
Well, yes, the Red Dress Project did affect me a lot. Well, it's missing and murdered Aboriginal women and girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
and boys. So that includes my father, right?
And boys. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it
Yeah,
was just for the
there's
women.
some,
Okay.
there's some and boys. Yeah, there's
Okay.
missing boys as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there's missing boys still, like Brandon Mitchell, he's still missing. Yeah, and then of course nobody, my father got killed, murdered, unsolved. I don't think that will ever be solved. No, but but I think I think with missing, uh, murdered and missing Aboriginal women and girls is that I felt it when I was younger, when I was in 20s. When I was in my 20s, I was drinking, I was doing bad things, and I've seen myself in the ditch.
Oh, sorry.
I've seen myself in the ditch, and I could have been one of them. I'm just being honest. You know, I had I had my younger days, and thank God I didn't die. You know, um, but I don't do much projects on that. Uh, I did do a stained glass panel for Mount Allison University.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
That's
So
something.
I don't do a lot of, I don't do I because I do stained glass as well. I paint and do stained glass.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I'm gonna you have to get some more stuff up online so I can see all this stuff.
yeah, I do stained glass. But
Oh,
somebody
that's
asked me
awesome.
if I do stained glass little tiny red dresses, and I won't do that. I can't do that, and I won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so then, so your son died he was a fisherman, right?
He was a crab fisherman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he, like a lot of fishermen, he went out to the water and didn't come back one day. So,
Yes.
so you find out the news and you go through that initial tragedy of,
Yes.
losing a loved one, which I still to this day can't grasp how people like it. I guess you never get over it. It's just something that's with you forever. And,
No.
and you got to sort of go back on the time you had before that and all those memories and moments and playing through your mind. And that's why I keep telling people it's so important. You never know. We're all in a line. We're all going
Yes,
and we
I
don't know
know.
where we are in the line.
I
So be good
know.
today.
But
So,
people don't realize that we're all in a line. You're
yep.
right. And we're gonna go. And I'm gonna make the best of this world right now.
Yeah. Every day, because it might be my last day. So does all the other stuff really matter? It's what are you doing today? And what
Yes.
moment did you have? What memory?
Yeah.
And I always say when you get older, many years from now, and you look back on your life and you could change every day from that day to this, what are the moments that you would say, I wish I had done this or that? Do them now. Start working on those things now and
Yeah.
enjoy every minute of every day in life. I think there's just not
So
enough time.
there's there's not enough time. No. No,
No.
I'll be gone tomorrow, the next day. I could be gone tonight. But I'm going to try my best to get the art out there so young people 200 years from now can see Mi'kmaq art. Because right now, when I was looking for Mi'kmaq art in Miramichi, there's none.
You're right. And there has to be more.
There's got
We
to
got
be
to do
more.
something about that.
I'm doing something.
So,
Yes.
so the first painting you did of your son, what was the
Yeah.
idea behind that? That got
I
it
was trying to
started.
push him out of the water.
You wanted to pull him out of the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had many dreams. I was floating in the ocean. Every time I was under stress, I would have a dream. I was be in the middle of the ocean, just by myself in the dark middle of the ocean, just waving, going away. And then a whale would go by. So then I stopped having these dreams. I stopped having them. But then my son died. And I got it back. So I thought I'd just, I'll paint myself in the water in my dream. And then I'll be pushing Seth out of the water with his canoe. That's what I was thinking.
Wow.
And then the captain is still missing. So I was hoping the water spirits would at least push him out of the water. But the captain is still The captain's still missing.
He's still missing now? They haven't found him
Yeah,
yet?
the
body?
jumbo's still missing. Yes, they're still searching too. They're still searching. Yes, for the captain.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. So, and then you moved on. So how many paintings did you do in the whole series so far?
Just two.
Just,
Well, she only gave me a month.
yeah. I for some reason, I thought I had seen a couple of other ones that maybe they weren't part of that series, but they look like they belonged or something. I don't know for some reason. And so the second painting, what inspired you on that?
It was, I had to let him go. I had an altar in my living room. I had an altar of my son in my living room, and I wasn't not going to take it down. You know, I was going to keep it there for the rest of my life. His hair, his clothes, his boots, everything was there. His pictures. And then one day I took it down. I had to take it down because I was dying. I was dying inside. So I had to take the altar down, but only for a few pieces. And that's when I said, I gotta let you go. So that's where I told my son, you can go now. And I whispered in his ear when I saw him in his casket that, you know, you're going to a different world. And you're going on an adventure. There's with Seth when he was little, him and I we would play Rambo. Him and I, you know, we would play Rambo in the woods, in the tall grass. You know, he'd have his bandana on and I would have mine. And it's just that my little Rambo is on his last adventure.
That's awesome. And wow. I can't talk because I don't want to cry. It's just, but I think what you're doing, your son is in your heart anyway. Those were just things, the altar stuff or whatever. But he's gone, but he's with you forever, because I keep saying to people, the experiences we have with each other are there forever. I have those till the day I die, and you have those till the day you die. So cultivate those and enjoy that. And that he's still there with you, in your thoughts and your heart and your mind. And someday, how it all works in the end, we'll all be together again. But for now, we have the time we spent together, and we can work on that and think about that. And it can bring smiles to our faces if we think about it in those ways, right?
He's on an adventure. That's what I'm thinking.
I think so too. Why not?
Another adventure.
And there's definitely more than what we know.
Yes.
There's definitely more.
We have to believe that.
Yes. Oh yeah. And without it, what else is there, right? Some people say, well, why do you believe in God to me all the time? And I say, well, if I don't, what's the alternative? There's nothing,
Yeah.
So which do you choose? I choose in a better world, a better life. Yes. And hopefully getting to meet all the people that have moved on in my life at the end. So that's I think is a better way to think about life.
Yes. And our cats. Our dogs. Our animals.
So you're a big animal lover? Do you have cats and dogs?
Yes, I have chickens.
Chickens.
I have 2 dogs and chickens. I got 2 more chickens coming next week.
My wife wanted chickens. I'm like, no, the cats are enough. The dogs are enough. Chickens now. Oh, no.
They are adorable, and they are so smart, and they tell you any stranger in the yard, because they'll scream stranger danger. They don't like any strangers.
That's true. That's true. Sort of an alert system, and they show you how to love, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
They just it's unconditional with them. No matter what you do. I mean, somebody can be a mean person, bad to their animals, they still love them.
Oh, I know. The animals,
incredible.
Unconditional love. If we all loved like animals, oh my gosh.
Yeah. They definitely could teach us a few things. We had my wife and I had horses for years. She was a horseback rider and loved horses, and just and just spending time in the barn with them, and that feeling that, I don't know, there was just something about it that made my day every day.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not much of a chicken guy though. Horse guy, yeah. Chicken guy now is kind of like, no, leave me out of the chicken stuff. when I was a kid, I used to have to cut the chickens' heads off. And I was like, it gave me a traumatic experience. I was like, no,
Oh
I don't
my
want nothing to do with the chickens.
No, I feed 5 families with my eggs.
Oh, that's incredible. 5 families.
Yes.
That's
I don't
incredible.
charge. I just give away 5 families I give eggs to. So
That's
for free.
so
Yeah.
you're changing the world.
Yes.
That's right. That's
Yes.
the motto of my show every day. Change the world. Do something.
Yes.
I was reading today, I can't remember who the poet was. They were saying that we all can say, oh, we can't do much to change the world. But if, individually, there's billions of people in the world. Imagine tomorrow we all went out and decided to do one good thing. That would be a billion things. Tell me that wouldn't change the world in a minute.
It would
Right?
change the world in a second.
Yeah. So to say we can't change the world, we can change the world every day. You can change the
Yes.
world with who you talk to at the coffee shop, with who you're
Yes.
talking to online. Everything you do, you can change the world in a little way by lighting up somebody's day.
That's wonderful. I like that. Yes.
And art inspires people,
Yeah.
motivates people, and
Yeah.
and especially when it's got incredible stories behind it. It's
Yes.
I can't wait to see it. Actually, I'm looking forward to going up and
Oh, me
seeing your
too.
art. And
Me too. This is very exciting because I don't get out very much. And for me to go to see other people's art is very exciting.
that's
Very
incredible.
exciting. Yes.
I'm working on I decided I hadn't painted. I painted my whole life, and then a few years ago, yeah, this is one of my paintings behind me here.
I was gonna ask. That's a lovely painting of the horses.
But I stopped for a bit, and then I decided last year. I said because I commercially I hated it, having to paint every day for everybody, and I painted so many lighthouses. I never wanted to paint a lighthouse, and everybody wanted a lighthouse. So I stopped for about 10 years, but I wanted to help out, with money and do more. So I started a 10 painting series, and I put a little story behind it. So I did my first one about a month ago, and I posted it up online with a little video behind it and story. And I said it by Christmas time. I'm hoping, I put this in my head, that I'm going to have 10 done and then do a show and give all the money to help something. Maybe it'll go towards our gallery or towards something, but it was a way to get inspired to do art for the love of art again, rather than the commercial side of it. Because at this point in my life, I'm just looking to do art for the pure joy of doing it.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
but when I see art like yours, I'm just like, wow. It's so that's real art to me. I love it.
Thank
It's
you.
incredible.
Thank you so much. But then, I didn't always, right now, I'm fortunate to make art to pay my bills with the art that I make. I mean, I'm not rich.
Yeah. Oh, it's a struggling business for sure.
But I'm paying my bills, my animals are fed. But yeah, before, I was taking 2 jobs. Like I would be a taxi driver, and then I would paint at night. I worked a child and family, and then I would paint at night. But I was getting stressed out doing 2 jobs. Then I went to school for human services so I can help people. I went to school to get human services so I can help people. And then I got the job, and then I was helping people go follow their dreams.
That's
You
incredible.
get what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Like I got a job to tell somebody to go follow their dreams. And I wasn't doing the same thing. So I quit.
I love it.
But every day I was trying to tell these women to follow their dreams. And here I am, like,
Not following your dreams.
yes, yes.
That's incredible.
It's like, somebody was doing arts and crafts and knitting and all these things. And I said, follow your dreams. You got potential. Well, and I wasn't doing that to myself. Yes.
Wow.
So then I made the decision. I said, I got to do it. The first year I was kind of, really broke. And, I used my credit card for art supplies, but I got myself out, once I started getting money, I would reinvest it into my bills. I would reinvest it into art supplies, Anything I make now is always into art supplies. Yes.
That's something, isn't it? And then
I love this. I love this job. I love my job. I can't do anything else. I
that's
can't do anything else.
well, I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you picked this path and doing it because the artwork is incredible. People are going to be amazed, and someday we're going to have it in the gallery here where we can all see it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do a show here somewhere. If it's just Care for Bro Soleil or wherever, but people need to see your
Yeah,
art.
they do have a show all the time, and I did had 2 shows up there. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't wait. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be incredible. So how long is this show in Fredericton? How long is is that for a couple of days, a week, or?
It's till July 10th. I had the paper. I was going to read it to you. Oh, yeah, right here. It is June 18th at 5:30. You're welcome to join us across the street in the green. So, you know, it's on Queen Street, but there's a green little patch of grass right across the street. So we're going to be there. And we are going to have the ceremony, introductory ceremony hosted by Chief Alan Chicky Polches and the Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick, Honorable Brenda Murphy.
Wow.
And the mayor.
That's going to be something.
Yeah.
And then, so are you able to see the art that night or not till the next day? Or you are. Okay.
After the little talk ceremony, you go across the street and look at the art.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and get down for that tomorrow.
It's at 5:30. It's going to be big,
okay.
Like the chief and lieutenant governor and the mayor is going to be and publicity. What do you call this?
Reporters.
Reporters. Reporters are going to be there.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good. You never get enough publicity, that's for sure.
Never get enough publicity. Yes.
And that's at 406 Queen Street in Fredericton. I was just looking up the address here.
Yes.
And yeah, that's incredible. And
yeah, they're gonna have artists Audrey Arsenault, Katie Augustine, Kenlyn Barlow, Braylon Sear, Brian Francis, Franny Francis, Tara Francis, Charlie Gaffney, Tim Hogan, Chantel Polches, Justin Sapier, Alan Sillaboy, Gary Santapaz, and Pauline Young.
Awesome.
And secondary work collections of Ned Bear and Roger Simon.
Well,
them two are really
I'm looking forward to that. And
yes.
I got it in my mind now. I'm going.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
So I'll actually get to see you there tomorrow. That'll be incredible.
Yes.
And yeah, my daughter lives in Fredericton too, and I can go visit her and surprise her. Maybe she'll come with me and go see the art. So that would be nice.
5:30.
5:30. Okay.
Yeah.
And don't tell my boss I'm skipping out of work early. We just got it all online so everybody can hear it, but that's okay. Well, I'll tell them it's part of work. That sounds like a good plan.
Related.
It's all work related.
Reporter. You got to be a reporter.
There we go. Well, Pauline, I want to thank you for talking with me, and I can't wait to see your art tomorrow. And your story is incredible, and keep the artwork going. And as I say, we're going to keep in contact because we're going to get this whole gallery thing figured out.
Yes.
Miramichi needs a gallery. I'm going to be talking to the mayor this week and a few of the councilors and see what they say about this kind of stuff and what we would have to do to get something like that going.
Yes.
That would be incredible.
Yes.
Well, I look forward to it. And from everybody, we want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And you have a great show, and I'm sure you'll be successful because you deserve it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Pauline.